Oh, there we go. So we're gonna cut up her mic right here and fade out. Barry White. Barry White, you got to go. Somebody more beautiful than you just took over. So here we go. How you doing, young lady?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you. You know, I believe I met you before.
I thought that I met you at Billy's show at Horizons.
Yes. Also, were you at the Jazz Bistro when it was around?
Yes. I
That's
did one date at the Jazz Bistro.
that's where I met you at. Cause I
Oh,
said
okay.
that's where I said I know her. And boy, that was back in 2017, something like that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yes, long, long ago.
Be careful who you watch and see you'll run across them again.
Right, right.
So you started acting at 7 years old.
I did.
Were you a cut up or you just a natural, just watch things and wanted to do it?
That was me. I mean, my mother took me to my drama classes. My very first teacher was Miss Adorn Ruffin, and she was teaching classes in the Carver Theater. And I remember my mom taking me, and I loved being expressive. I loved the class. And then one day, as we were going to class, they were putting up a production, a touring production,
Mhm.
and they stopped my mother and they said, "Hey, we need a little girl for a scene, and it's paid. We'll book you." And that's when I started professionally acting. I did a 2-week run. I was only in the fourth grade. I was in the Colored Museum, and I still have a couple of those actors on. I found them on Facebook and said, "Hey, I'm the little girl that was in the Colored Museum when y'all were in the San Antonio leg of the tour." So I still keep in touch with them, and from there it was moving. I mean, but even before that, my very first stage was always church. I started in church singing, speeches, everything, very, very active and an overachiever. My mother made sure I was very busy. So I've always had this hectic schedule literally all of my life. So
I gotta ask you this one question. You seen the movie was it Tina Turner where
what's that got to do with it?
when she started off as a little girl, they kicked her out of church. She sung all the way out to church.
Yes, yes, that was me, but I didn't get kicked out.
I was going to ask you that because that reminded me when you said that as a little girl, and she sung all the way out to church and kept on going.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
But
I didn't get kicked out. They gave me a microphone. So
oh,
thank God for that.
so you start off. You want to say what gospel, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. That's
I,
near and dear to my heart, even to this day. I
yeah.
love leading worship. I'm a proud member of Greater Love Missionary Baptist Church under Pastor L.J. Gillespie Sr. And my husband, Reverend James Matthews, is the drummer and associate minister at Greater Love as well.
Oh, look at you. So in between time, I was reading on some of the stuff that you were in.
Hmm.
Dream Girl, Chicago. By the way, the movie Chicago was one of the movies you had to sit down and watch from the beginning until the end.
Yeah,
You could not pause that movie. I
no.
tried it. I had to go back and start from the beginning again. So what?
That's one of my favorite. When I audition, that's one of my favorite selections is from Chicago, and that's all that jazz. I love that song. So even
Oh,
though I didn't play that character, I was a murderess. But I love that song. So
you was what? Say that again.
I was a Mary murderess in
Okay.
Chicago. Annie, the Cell Block Tango girls. I was one
Yes.
of those girls. Yes.
All
So
right. Yeah. I went back and I seen a movie about a year ago, and Dream Girls always stay. When I feel like watching something, it was Dream Girls. I remember go watching Dream Girls at the movies that people actually stood up and applaud like it was a Broadway show.
mm,
I mean, that movie was so moving on how things were going and back in the days.
yes.
You know what? If you look at it today, it's almost the same way as music coming out. You got to sort of put things on the table to get people to play your music and stuff. And I still see that happen in some of the big markets, but you know, it's not going to change.
Right. I mean, I have a very specific opinion when it comes to movies TV shows, things adapted from live theater. Like I'm the biggest critic. Because sometimes it's just like when they adapt movies from books, you don't get every single thing. There's something about live theater, and to all the parents of aspiring actors and artists who are listening, there's an electricity in the room with live music and live theater. There's no, I guess I do track shows from time to time. I do, videos and streams here and there, but it's something about being in the room. There's an actual energy exchange that takes place for me that causes a lot of healing and a lot of thought and a lot of conversations. And that's what I feel that that's my gift. I feel that's why God gave me these gifts, not just to just entertain you, but to evoke emotion, to make you think through the different characters. Because the world is a stage, right? Every day we play the characters of ourselves. But to be able to recreate different people, their thought processes, and their voices, because I am doing a lot more voiceover work, and we could talk about that in a minute. But
Okay.
um, there's just an energy exchange. So if you get the chance, please support live music and live theater. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
I agree with you 110% because and when we were growing up, mom made sure we went through live shows. She wanted us to understand the culture and that. And I remember going to one, I can't remember the name of it, but I was like 6 or 7 years old and I seen the play twice,
Hmm.
seen production twice. And the second time it was more how can I put it, involved. The actors and the actress, they it seemed like they was on another level the next day. And
Hmm.
and then my mom was explaining to me that you have your good days and bad days out there. And then she said something to me that sticks with me to this day. It's called chemistry.
Mm.
She said if that chemistry is there, they're doing live work, they feed off each other, and that's when you know that this is real and it's good. And so I seen the chemistry, and it's amazing on how the chemistry is from one person to another to the whole everybody out there. Then tears come out automatically, and I asked mom, "Is that real?" She said, "It's real as it's going to get."
Right. Right.
So
So yeah,
I do like live shows.
yeah, the chemistry. That's a good word that you mentioned. The chemistry between the actors, the cast, the musicians, and everyone in the room is electrifying. And it's just something I think everyone should experience. Once you see your first show, once you experience, especially your first Broadway show or touring show, you're gonna crave that. There's not gonna be anything else to replace the lights and the music and the movement. Nothing.
Yeah, I know. I remember I got stuck watching the Nutcracker.
Yeah.
And they took us to go see the Nutcracker, and I thought they were out of their mind. That was so long and boring. But
Uh,
once I sat down and went to it as an adult,
mhm.
I watched it, and it's amazing the things that the cast and the crew can do, and nobody see behind the scenes on what it takes to put that play on. And
Right.
speaking about that behind the scenes, I knew you had done your share of things, but behind the scenes, it's hectic. All the audience see is the finished product, the polished product is all they see. So tell me something about behind the scenes one time where you thought, oh no, this is not going to work. What's going to happen? And all of a sudden, lights, action, camera, your whole facial change, and you got to be this actress.
Hmm. No, so yes, that my freshman year in college, and I went to Texas State University. My freshman year, I got sick day before opening night. I had a fever of like 101, 102. Thank God, there was no COVID back then, but I was sick and I was hoarse. And my character, we did Hair, the rock musical. Dion did not have an understudy. So an understudy is someone who studies literally under you for the duration of rehearsal time, and they are able to fill in and step in as needed if you get sick, if there's an emergency, et cetera, and whatnot. And I didn't have one. So there I was on stage with a fever. My mother was like, how mom, especially black
Yeah.
mothers, black mamas are like not having it. But and then once I got on stage, my mic went out. Opening number, first night, freshman year, the only African American freshman and black woman in the cast, my mic went out. So fortunately for me, I come from a family who has a lot of volume going on, especially on my dad's side. Shout out to my dad's side of the family,
Yeah.
the Wilson family. I was head cheerleader as well, and I never needed my megaphone. Like I could project very loudly, and that's what I had to do. I had to do till they realized my mic pack wasn't on and the song was almost over. But I train even my students and parents and adults now that anything can happen, especially with technology. You need to learn to project because the person on the back row needs to get the same experience as the person on the front row. That's just how I was trained. So yes, things can happen and you just have to adjust. There's no time to even think about it. You just have to go. There's no redo when it's live. You can't pause and start over. So you have to be ready. And that just takes practice and experience. So
And one word I'm thinking of when you do that is called being resilient. That's
ah,
what
thank you.
happens. Being resilient. You
Yeah.
always have to think fast, have a backup to the
Hmm.
backup to the backup. So
Right.
you know what to do when a situation happened. You didn't say, "Oh,
Hmm.
well, I'm walking." You just went on and said, "This is what I'm going to do." So how did it turn out?
It was amazing. We had an amazing run. We sold out. Shout out to my school, Texas State University. We have one of the greatest theater departments in the land, and Jay Jennings, who is a very special teacher to me, one of my acting teachers. Hi Jay, and everyone in that department. There's a difference. I would like to talk about that, if you will,
Go ahead.
versus our church versus the church versus trained in classical theater, because the church is known for doing a lot of skits and a lot of things. The Black community loves acting and shows and things, but I can tell you there's a huge difference in doing um, Black theater or African or church theater in the community versus the shows I do in community theater and professional theater houses. And it's something that I always talk about, being able to adapt in different circles. It's almost like a code switch, if you will. Not necessarily, but I'm saying this just to make us better as a community. I grew up, like I said, in church, and I was always in, the Easter program, the Christmas program. A lot of times it's like, oh, let's just get sister so and so, let's get put all these people together and throw it together in a matter of, a short amount of time and just give it all you got. No blocking, no hair, makeup, no wardrobe. You're just kind of on your own, fending for yourself. And I just would like for us as African Americans, especially in San Antonio, I am available to help you. But I would, you know, let me give you an example. So I was in a play by an African American playwright here locally, and I had to do my own blocking, which means directions, which means I had to write my own notes to tell me where to go, when to sit, what to do, where to face. When in professional theater, you shouldn't have to do that. The director should tell you that. I had to put my own costume changes. I had to write in what scenes I was wearing, and then I had to go get my own costumes and put them together, which in professional theater you don't have to do. I have to do my own hair and own makeup, and I have to think about my character and who she was, how she would speak and move. That is something that actors should do internally. That's called characterization. And if you don't know how to do that, I would suggest you write that down. How does your character move? What do they sound like on the phone? How are they with their families and friends? You literally have to transform yourself. I mean, this interview right here, I'm going to be dropping all the nuggets. So any actors listening that want to know what I took years to kind of learn here, I'm going to be giving you all of the information. So I'm just saying I want to get us to a place, and that's why I started Art Noir, to where we function as any professional community theater, especially in our Black community and in the Black churches. So I'm available for those consults, and to help guide you, because the stories we're telling, especially for the kingdom, are very important.
Yes. Oh, you said a mouthful right there. I'm just
Mhm.
And that's what we got to do. We got to reach out to our Black
Mhm.
community because I
Mhm.
was saying the other day, we got so much talent here, so much hidden talent
Yes,
here that people don't realize what San Antonio could offer.
right.
And thank you for stepping up, want to help out everybody, and keep on dropping those nuggets.
I sure will. I
Just
sure
keep
will.
on
There's a
doing
lot.
that. I know.
There's a lot to be said. So,
I
and
feel,
that's why I said I wanted to wait. I did an interview last night for Dream Week, and I was saying, I was telling them and telling a lot of people close to me, I didn't think I had anything to offer unless I had a Grammy or an Emmy yet, or I did more work in LA and I, had arrived. But
yeah,
that's not true. And God spoke to me and told me, take what you know now and just start. I just had to take a leap of faith and start with Christmas in Black, which was my first show under Art Noir Productions. Hugely successful. I only wanted to sell 50 tickets, and over 200 people came to show up and to show us support. And it's just mind blowing. And we are on the heels of our second performance, Wakanda Forever, at the 36th commemorative MLK March. We were the grand finale. So if you guys left, you missed us if you left because the celebrity artist didn't show up, and you missed a wonderful performance. I'm so grateful to the city of San Antonio, the MLK Commission, and everyone for allowing us that. We will be performing more doing that tribute during Black History Month and various other things for Black History. I'm getting calls all day, every day, since the March about Black History Month. So you can contact me and we can go from there.
we're gonna contact you. We want to stay involved in what let me ask you something. What can we do for you to get the word out to radio station? What can we help you out with?
Oh, just this what you're doing here. Exposure, awareness, letting people know that people like me are here, that we are offering a different avenue for representation and inclusion in performing arts in the city. And that's just not with my band, not just with R&B, soul, jazz, gospel, um, but in actual performing arts, which we have African American ballerinas. We have lyrical dancers, contemporary dancers, dancers who can tap. We have tumblers, we have mime, praise dancers, poets, writers, screenwriters. We have just so much to offer the city. And to those who say, because I've gotten some negative commentary, unfortunately, from other races, some racist comments about wanting to do the Wakanda Forever tribute, and just snarky and just,
Yeah,
nasty comments. But the thing about it is, if we do it and we do it correctly, we can say, we not only need you to give us a seat at the table, but we can pull up our own chair. And not just that, we can make our own table and our own seats and our own chairs and keep it moving.
yeah,
Just because we are proud of who we are doesn't mean that we are against anyone else. That's just like Black Lives Matter. Same thing. We wouldn't have to say Black Lives Matter if everyone equally mattered. There has to be a balance. There
yeah,
has to be a balance in all things. And I think if we work together as a community, one world, one human race, one voice, we can change things. Unfortunately, there are people who do not understand that. They don't want the balance to be equal. They want to have more weight and control. And that's where we fight back. And that's where we say, hey, I appreciate the community theaters whom I work with and have performed with. Many actors and directors and producers are doing a phenomenal job with representation. We've had The Color Purple. We're having Fences. We've had West Side Story. We're getting those things. But in the scheme of things, right? In the scheme of all of the community theater doing, say, 100 shows in a year, exactly how many of those were open opportunities for African American lead and ensemble to be majority cast?
yes.
Maybe five. And what Art Noir is wanting to do is to provide a consistent visibility, representation, and inclusiveness with our I call it melanin magic. Come and get all this melanin magic on stage. We have talent here. We have more to offer. And maybe by gaining support of other theater houses and other entities in the city, that they can start to open up and do more non-traditional casting. Non-traditional casting means that if a play or story was historically Caucasian or white, that you may want to cast a Black family instead.
Yeah.
That instead of having a white husband and a white mother, you have a white husband and a Black mother and Black children or mixed children. But we're seeing a lot of BIPOC and ethnically ambiguous in castings. That was also very frustrating. I'm a part of many groups who cast here in Texas and in San Antonio. And by ethnically ambiguous, to me, that translates to you can be part Black, you can be mixed with something, but you can look like you can pass for white or
Yeah.
Hispanic or Asian or middle,
Yeah.
they don't, where, you just kind of are light skinned or beige.
Yeah.
And that's not me. That's not me. But because you limited the casting to ethnically and they say ethnically ambiguous and BIPOC, to me, and BIPOC is new in Hollywood, and it stands for Black Indigenous People of Color, right? Black Indigenous People of Color. You can put that in your casting, you can put that on your flyer and on your notice. That still doesn't mean that the directors, it's like uh not a affirmative action, so
Yeah.
to speak. You'll say you'll accept everyone, that's your umbrella. But at the end of the day, the majority of the cast is still majority white.
Yeah.
Or you have a certain look. Maybe I'm not your look because I'm a plus size Black woman in all of my splendor. I'm voluptuous and I am powerful. And maybe I'm intimidating. Maybe you're intimidated by all of my flyness. Like Maya Angelou said, and still I rise. Does my sassiness offend you? It does. And that's okay because I started my own. So now I don't need to necessarily sit around and wait all year to get back on stage when I can create it. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to inspire anyone who's listening that wants to start a business or has a dream. And it doesn't have to be in performing arts. It can be anything you've been waiting to do. You're working your 9 to 5. We're in these cycles where we're just collecting a check. You dread getting up and going to work in the morning. You dread, even if you work from home, some people just hate it. Um, Follow your heart. I do still work full time. A lot of people don't realize that or know that. I do still work from home. I still pay taxes, and I still have Dev Soul, and which has 2 bands now. Shout out to my all girl band as well. I have an
Oh,
all girl band I just started putting in rotation. I'm making hit. I want to make history. I've been asking myself, what is my legacy? What am I going to leave behind? Because life is so short. I've done all this work for almost 2 decades in the city, and I felt it was time for me to really kick it up into high gear, with my bands, with my music. So yes, a single, possibly an EP is coming, but shh, don't tell anyone. You know, it's time. I'm
yeah.
way overdue. I mean, I have all kind of music hidden online. I tell people all the time, oh, I have work online. It's hidden. You got to find it. You better Google it. It's there.
Well,
But
I
it's
don't
time
want.
for some
I,
new work.
no,
So
I don't want to find it. I want you to send it to me so I can play things. So I put you in the rotation.
sure, I sure will. I
You
sure will.
know.
There's a lot of growth and change in some of the songs that I've recorded and done, but some of them are really, really good, and some of them I was just young and crazy. So
Oh, well,
yeah.
those are some of the best ones. When you
Ah,
when you
ah.
was freelance and doing what you want to do, you had that free
hmm
spirit in you, and
And single and talking crazy and not married to a minister. Yeah.
somebody asked a question. How was it working with Kim Burrows?
Oh, Kim Burrell. Thank you
Burrell,
for
I'm
that.
sorry,
That's a question
Burrows.
on the broadcast.
Yes, somebody
Oh,
just asked that question.
okay. Yes. No. Working with Kim Burrell for me was amazing. She was so kind to me. Kim Burrell has a rap, right? She was so polite and kind to me. She pointed me out when we did that show here at True Vision. And I knew my part. I played my part. I was ready to go. I was focused and zoned in on her direction. And she smiled at me and she said, "Thank you for being prepared and for being on it. Yeah, I need to be like her." And David Mann actually said the same thing too when we were in The King. He and his wife, David and Tamala Mann, we were in that together, and they allowed me to speak too. And I mean, you internally scream inside. I'm like, I'm all happy, but My personal experience with Pastor Kim Burrell was a great one. Now I can't say the same for the other people that she had to get after, but that's because she is a perfectionist for Christ, and she's a perfectionist at her craft. Um, I can consider myself a Kim Burrell when it comes to my Dev Soul shows. All my musicians know I love to play and have a lot of fun, but I hear things in here in my head, and God gives me my show, and I know how it needs to sound. I know what my process is, and I have to have that.
Yeah.
Even my husband, I threaten my husband all the time. I said, "I'm gonna fire you," and he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm gonna fire. I'm your husband. You can't fire me." I said, "You're my husband at home, but on this stage, you are in my employ, and I will fire you." It's just
Oh,
this long joke that we have.
how
Like,
many times have you fired him and hired him back?
oh my gosh, about 10 times since we've been married. Shout out to my husband. I love my husband. Man, I love him so much.
I,
That's my
I
baby.
know, I know. My wife said something one day around here, and I said something else. She said, "You fired." I said, "Thank you," and I walked on, and she called her sister and said, "I just fired Ron from doing something. He was so happy."
Wow. Yeah. So I tell him, and if y'all ever come to a show, a Dev Soul show, and y'all see me flash my pan like this, that's from What's Love Got to Do with It. That's when Ike was giving Tina and the Ike gets a $5 fine. So
Mm.
I'm doing it all day long, especially to my husband. I'll go behind my back. If he does something that I didn't want or he knows doesn't go there, I'm like, $5 fine. I mean, I'm gonna take $5 off every time you do a misstep in the show,
So
and he'll
basically,
just play harder.
so
So
basically, at end of the show, your husband don't get paid.
okay, you know what I'm saying? Run me that. Run me that. No, no. I treat I respect his gift and
Yeah.
treat him, like he gets the same, as everyone else because it is business. Even though that's my husband, it's still business. But yes, I have threatened like 10 $5 fines. That's $50, honey. Run me my 50, babe, because
You
you don't
go.
be listening. Or they like to joke with me on stage and I'll end the song. We have hand signals. We learned these hand signals from church. I'll tell them to stop, do it again,
Yeah.
or I want him to double time something, and he won't follow my cues. So
Oh.
they'll just do it just to mess with me, and then all the musicians will start laughing, but I'm not laughing. So yeah,
So do they gang up on you sometimes and do that?
yes, they do, man. I'm listening. Being on stage, there's just a level of communication and language. And I've played with these musicians, many of them for almost 20 years. We have started and been working together. And I just want to mention, can I shout out my musicians? There's
Sure.
so many that I work with,
Go
so
for
many amazing musicians that I work with. But my very, very first Dev Soul band, because Dev Soul turned 16 this Thanksgiving, and we haven't been able to celebrate because of COVID and all this stuff. So we're gonna do something special for the anniversaries here soon. But my very first band, after I finished singing background for a big artist, Mark Ledesma, shout out to him. He like really, really helped me become who I am today. And the first band I had was Kenneth KC Clark on keys. It was Nick Clark on bass, and it was Paul Cockfield on drums. And these guys are musicians. They have, I pride myself with working with literal geniuses. So I'm very selective um, on who is in the Dev Soul rotation. I really am. If y'all see, not just anyone plays with me. I use a lot of the same people over and over again because they know me. We have a chemistry and they have a certain level of artistry. So after that, and shout out to Nick Clark, who's in LA. Nick Clark played for Kanye's Sunday service. He's out there doing it real big, playing on the Terrell show. I saw him on that. He's just an awesome guy. And I'm hoping to catch up with him in LA here pretty soon. Um, my original band, which is what I call the band that really created the Dev Soul name here in the community. On keys was Rob Cockfield, his on drums, Paul Cockfield.
We had Jet C. Balderrama, who was on percussion. The only female musician I've had with me for this long. We had Jason Stiggers on keys. That is the original band. That's the band from, y'all remember, Madison Avenue, Picasso's, Anthro. That's the band that came in and just we really pounded the pavement, gigging, 3 to 5 nights a week for y'all here in San Antonio. And over time, we've had other musicians, of course, in and out of that rotation that I use. And now we have my band, I have my husband, of course, who is on drums, who's my favorite drummer. And we have, Joey Blackman who will come in and play bass. We'll have Henry come and play bass, Kev and now with my girl band, my girl Carla, Rob, Aristide on keys, my brother James, who plays for the Experience as well. We're family. It's like Jerry Jones, JJ on guitar, who is a beast, man. I just have all of these wonderful musicians. And then the new school, my girl Tony, who plays drums for the girl band, and 34K, my girl Carrington, who rips a guitar to shreds. Like I can't wait for y'all to hear all the new things we're doing with Dev Soul, and we have so much in store for you. And also with Art Noir. So I'm a busy woman. I have lots of scripts I'm working on. I'm doing a lot of TV film. I got back into my acting. I kind of stopped everything when I got married. That's what happened. A lot of people say, "What happened? You stopped performing." I stopped doing a lot of acting. So my husband never even really knew my love for acting and all the things that I could do
Yeah.
until I kind of started. And now that I got my passion back, and it all kind of stemmed from Clubhouse during the pandemic. Everybody was on the audio, and I started doing audio plays and audio recordings, and even started doing voiceover and cartoons. I was Mama Odie and Princess and the Frog, and I directed for Color Girls, the audio experience. I earned my first IMDb credit as a voiceover actor and singer on the Color Purple audio experience. It was an international live audio musical, and I worked with people from all over the United States, London, South Africa. And I created these bonds and networks with these musicians from all around the world. So once COVID got a little bit under control, that's when you started seeing Dev Soul doing a show here, show there sporadically and
Yeah.
whatnot. And it still wasn't enough because I'm just being obedient to the Holy Spirit. God is like, go, go, do it now. And everyone's like, you're crazy. Devin, you want to do a Christmas production. It's September, October. Nothing is available. You can't rent out anything. You don't have funding. You don't have this and that. And I'm like, mm-mm. Ella
Oh,
Austin was gracious enough to allow us to rent out their facility. We took it and transformed it into any theater. Me and my husband literally we did our own lights. My girl Carla did the sound. The parents, the actors and dancers. I'm just so blessed to have all these people around me to listen to my crazy dreams, my crazy entertainment goals for our community and our city, because we have talent here that can rival Houston, Dallas, LA, Atlanta, New York. That's just my opinion.
yeah.
I was told to not claim San Antonio when I make it, to say I was from Houston or somewhere else, and I'm not doing that.
No,
I'm a proud product of the east side of San Antonio
there you
all
go.
day.
There you
Countdown City
shout
210,
out
baby.
shout out
The
to the
Alamo
East
City.
Side.
That's
Yeah.
me.
Let me
So
ask you a question. I got one
mhm,
question to ask you because I love live bands. I
mhm,
was
mhm.
brought up with live bands. Whenever you have a rehearsal, do you mind if somebody like me could just sit in there and just watch the rehearsal?
I do not mind at all. Come on. I have a lot of friends
I would love to
who
do that.
love to do that. Who
It's
love to
just
do that. So
it's
yeah,
just
sure.
it's just something that's live that I like about bands. You hear things and it's
Mhm.
just I just love watching when practicing is going on because that's when that hidden talent or something happens spontaneous that
Uh-huh.
a little twinkle in your eyes. Like I see a twinkle in your eyes. You passionate about what you're doing.
I am.
Yeah.
You sure that's not my allergies messing up? Because I was just trying to dabble them out. So
I
that
thought you
twinkle could have been my allergies.
No, well,
I'm
if it
just
is,
kidding.
it's twinkling just right.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So no, but absolutely. Come on in. I'm doing so many things. If
Yeah.
I sat here and listed all, y'all would think I was crazy, but just a few key things that I have coming up. The Wakanda Forever tribute was amazing. We have been asked to do that and do some Black History performances throughout the city. So I am going to reopen that up. So if you love the Wakanda tribute we did at the MLK March, we will be teaching that here over a couple of additional classes for you guys to come and join our productions. We're taking everybody, all ages. We're rooting for everybody Black. So y'all come through, come learn it, come perform. You'll have to get your unitard, which is the long black, Leo that we wore, but we'll provide everything else. And we just want to make a movement, make a noise, make a joyful noise around San Antonio. I was also just cast in the animated action feature film Jermaine. Jermaine is a cartoon. It started as a cartoon. It's won several awards and several film festivals. The director and the creative mind behind that contacted me on LinkedIn. I cannot believe I got cast on LinkedIn
Wow.
and he didn't even audition me. He read my resume, he researched me and offered me the role of Nia, of the sister. So I will be doing recordings for this animated film soon, and that's so different, and I'm so excited. I was also on. I've done previous TV work. I was on American Crime on ABC many years ago, and I was also on The Leftovers on HBO. So I got my two. I got two of my background credits, and now I just got my third on Hulu. If you have Hulu, there's a new show called How I Caught My Killer. Season one just came out on January 12th. I'm in episode 9, the finale episode. The show is about victims who left breadcrumbs for their family, friends, and police to help solve their murders. And I helped portray um, one of these stories. These are true stories. These actually happened, and you will see me like in the opening credit. Like you see my shoulder in the opening credit and my glittery nails and my hair, and then you'll see me like in gray. You'll see me like in a white long sleeve in the police scene. I'm the character Amina, and I actually got full FaceTime, which that's a big deal, because they can show you from the back and the side all day, but when they show your face, you're like you arrived. And next thing is to say one word in order to get your SAG card. You can say hi, hello. As long as you say one word or make one sentence, I can get my SAG card. But I think I might qualify. Getting my SAG card is a big deal for me. You have to have at least 3 background roles on a major SAG after performance, which I think I have now that I have ABC, HBO, and Hulu. So I'm gonna look into that, or one lead role will
Yeah.
qualify you. And then of course several $1,000s. But that will allow me to audition for Tyler Perry shows, that allow me to audition for Marvel. Like I'll be able to be in that pool of Black women with the greats, Angela Bassett, Viola Davis, Taraji P. Henson. But the difference is I don't have the representation that they have just yet. I don't have the agents and the managers that can get you those scripts. So it's going to be a slow journey, but I promise you, San Antonio, I'm going to do my best to make you all proud and to put us on the map and let people know who we have here, the talent we have here from all walks of life. And I'm just so grateful for everything that we have coming up. As far as shows, I am performing next Saturday at what the Women Wind Down, the What Women Want Wine Down, all those W's. What Women Want Wine Down at the Moad Center. Ladies, y'all come on out. Shout out to Miss Elaine Brown, who is putting on that event. It's catered to women, and the tickets are available on Eventbrite for anyone. The number 4, the letter N, the letter E, the number 1 Productions. The tickets are on sale now. I believe they are $20 or $25. All drinks for the ladies are $5 all night, and I will be there. Shout out to DJ Big Cat. It's just a space, and men can come. She told me to let y'all know, fellas, y'all can come on out and come through and enjoy some local performances. And I will be the finale featured that night for you guys. So that's what I have up immediately. Everything else you can visit artnoirproductions.com or on my Facebook, Devon Matthews, Devon, Matthews with 1T. Or if you Google me, everything will literally pop up. So, yeah, it's
I'm
a
I'm
lot.
I'm gonna stay in touch with you because I'm
Please
intrigued.
do.
I'm very intrigued.
Oh,
I like to get some of your flyers and stuff you have going on,
mhm,
so we get them out here and let everybody know the word. Because as I was telling everybody, this station is not meant to be for ratings. I don't go by that.
mhm,
I got this platform to do what you're doing to get the word out.
mhm.
I could care less about ratings. I care more about
Right.
Black people on the East Side. How do we get the word out about them? So that's what I'm here for. And look at you,
Absolutely.
you East Side, strong, strong East Side.
Absolutely. I gotta be. I gotta be. I gotta be. And with that said, I've been getting a lot of people asking me, this will be my first official announcement about it. What's next for Art Noir Productions? And that will be Easter. I will be presenting my Easter production entitled The Third Day. And I will be casting for that in the next couple of weeks. This production will depict um, the story of Jesus Christ, all the way from when he was with Pontius Pilate, all the way through his ascension, all the way from, but with the focus on really breaking down in a theatrical sense, um, the resurrection the resurrection. So if you're an actor, this is what I will need from you when you come to the audition. You will need a headshot. Headshot photos are up close photos, kind of like how I am here in the frame. It's from your chest up. It's normally a solid background, gray, white, tan, something like that, blue, green, something solid. Um, and it just kind of just shows your face in natural makeup, not a lot of heavy makeup or crazy hairstyle. It really is your calling card. So I'll need a headshot. I'll need you to prepare 60 seconds of a song of your choice a cappella. When you're auditioning for music theater, this will be a music theater production. You typically want to go in that vein, something that really, really showcases. Go for the good part of the song, the meat and potatoes of the song. Don't go for the sides. Don't give me just the first verse flat. Go for the bridge and the go for the really big part. Show your best, shoot your best shot in that 60 seconds vocally. Since this is gospel as well, you can do a hymn, you can do a gospel song. So I won't worry about the genre for this. I just need to hear your voice, and then I will need a monologue or a poem piece, also 60 seconds, if you will, showcasing high emotion. High emotion. This is not a comedy. It is a drama. It is a tragic drama, like almost bordering Shakespearean. When we're talking about the story of Jesus Christ, and I want to tell it in a real and raw way. So if you're kind of a lighthearted person and kind of willy nilly and want to kind of just can't switch on that emotion, then this may not be the production for you because it's heavy, it's real, especially for us Christians. So I just, pray God's anointing flow all through the production, through me into our community. So the best of the best singers and actors, the audition notice will go up soon with more details. Or you can inbox me on Facebook, Instagram at Mrs. MRSDEV Matthews 1T, at Mrs. Dev Matthews on Twitter and Instagram. I do have a TikTok. I don't know really how to use it. I just make flyers on there. I have a Snapchat, but you guys can find me, artnoirproductions.com or Facebook. And then my email address is contact, CONTACT, Devon, DEV as in victory, ON as in Nancy, Matthews with 1T at gmail.com. So,
So if you need a old man with a gray beard sitting down with a cane looking mean at people, I'll apply for that.
hey, come on, look, everybody, that's gonna be another um all ages. Well, I guess we will have a few places for children. I will just say that. So I may just say, teens and up because of the content, and because the heavy nature of what happened to our Savior.
Yeah.
We want to, make sure that the kids will be okay with that. It's gonna be, I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm just praying and asking the Lord to give it to me. Studying Matthew, Mark, Luke, the Gospels, talking with my husband, sitting down with him and praying with him and asking his interpretation. I want to meet with my pastor and just really make sure that I bring forth something that we can see live and musical and celebrate what Christ did for us. So that's up next.
Okay. Look at that. Almost out of time. You gave all the information already.
Yes.
I definitely want to have you back because you are so perky and just full
Am
of
I?
life.
Oh my God.
Just full of life. And
Oh, thank
like
you.
I said, I said, I know her. I know her. And we probably weren't formally introduced, but in passing, I had seen you from place to
Okay.
place and all that. But
Right.
when we get our new studio open, I would like for you to come down there. We could do a live sitting there interview.
We can do a live set.
Yeah.
I'll come perform.
Oh,
We could We could perform live on the radio. I used to do that all the time at KSYM, Trinity Radio, and Stack Radio. I used to do that all the time. I take the whole band in, and we do a live in studio session. So let's do that. Listen, I would love to, any way you guys want to help. If you would like to help sponsor advertising, any sponsors or businesses out there, Black businesses, people that want to help, you can donate via Cash App, $art. ART Noir, NOIR Productions with an S. Thank you to everyone in the city who has, I didn't make like a big post about it, but some people just saw what we were doing and they were like helping us. So I asked, hey, can you help the kids with this or with that? Because we're just building. So $Art Noir Productions, if you'd like to donate or be a sponsor for the third day, or you need us, you want to book me, you want to book dancers, you need music. In all things entertainment, Black entertainment, we are your one-stop shop.
yeah,
Thank you so much to WSAN. And shout out to Miss Sandra. Can I just shout her out?
you
I
sure
love her
can.
so much. She has kept in touch with me. She's kept up on my posts. She has connected me with talent in the city, giving them my information wherever she goes. So I have a special place in my heart for WSAN radio. So you guys can always call me. Thank you.
Okay. With that being said, we will get a hold of you again because I definitely want to keep up to date with everything that's going on. Because I will be contacting you personally because I want to know some other things that's going on because I want to make sure
Okay.
that you stuck with us. Put it this way, we just adopted you, okay?
Absolutely. Let's do it. Hey, I belong to Greater Love Baptist Church, but I am an honorary member of several churches in the community. Shout out to Golden Gate, Resurrection, and everywhere else that has me all the time. So I just love everyone in the community. But yes, Black History Month is filling up quickly. I've already been approached by 2 schools to put together one in Judson ISD and one preparatory schools to put together their Black History programs. I'm pretty sure by this time next week, my calendar will be full. So if you'd like for me to come sing, speak, bring the dancers, whatever, what have you, to your school, church, or job, just contact me. So
I just found I've been working with somebody the past couple of weeks that asked me a while back to speak on Black history. It's for the VA, and I said, me? They said, yeah, you
Yes, you.
get a bio
Yes, you. That's
together.
right.
I said, I haven't wrote about, so they've been working with me getting my bio together and all that. So I've been working with them every Wednesday. And so
That's awesome.
it'd be an online message, but it would be I think the 14th or 15th of February. It'd be on, but I'll get it out there when I'm gonna be out
Well,
there.
congratulations. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Don't, you didn't feel like maybe you weren't qualified, but God will qualify you.
Yes.
You let the Lord do that, and I tell people that all the time. They think I'm crazy starting all these businesses. I never considered myself an entrepreneur. I was always strictly an artist. I only wanted to sing and perform, nothing else. Now I'm learning backline. I'm learning how to set up my husband's drums. I'm about to get on the instrument. I'm about to just do like God until my days, until you call me home. I'm just gonna give everything I can. I feel like I wasted so much time. Like I could have been so much further along, but I can't dwell on that. All you can dwell on is your future and staying positive and
Amen.
staying focused. That's my word for the day is
So,
hold on to the Lord's unchanging hand
somebody
and you can
listen
do it.
to me. Somebody listened to me. They said, adopt her, please.
Yes, thank you. Look, the love that we've been shown all across the city, and that funnels back from Dev's soul, but I mean up until now, man, like
Yes.
oh my gosh, my parents, my mother, like I said, she was that homeroom teacher. She took me to everything. She had my face on her shirt. She was a sponsor, and my dad is the bass player, David
Yeah.
Wilson in Sacramento. They were the young with Walker Ford and the young adult choir back in the day. So shout out to everybody, man. Thank y'all for listening so much and for this opportunity. Thank you.
And we will talk to you later. You just do what you do best, and God will show you the right path to take.
That's right. That's right. Thank you all so much. Y'all have a good one.
Okay. All right.
Bye
Goodbye.
bye.
Bye.
Mhm.